We're live here with Gem City Sports. My name is Danny Stone, and I'm here with
SamMeeBee.
And we're Gem City Sports. I butchered that intro, but you got to practice to get perfect.
That's
all right, we got a big one here today, SamMeeBee. Our audio and video is messing up left and right, but we're going to try to push on through to the other side. In the words of the Doors, Jim Morrison, it's break on through. But whatever, we get hung up on the details around here. No, we do not. We're going to talk a little Showtime Ohtani. Think the Angels should have traded him. That's pretty clear after he's no longer pitching.
No hindsight. I think I saw UCL tear or something, possibly $100 million costing him in free agency.
And that is big. I was going to say you told me that might cost him about $100 million. That's a lot of money.
Today's August 24th. So that news came out this morning. I think just today.
It's fresh news. I did see that he left the game early last night, Wednesday. Today, Thursday. They're saying he's done pitching, but he's going to try to hit. It's just a shame for baseball. He's so exciting. You hate to see it. But, we'll keep it real. That's just a little baseball news. We'll get right to it. Before our video aired, we were talking about the Jonathan Taylor trade news.
Yep. I asked you where you think he would go. And before I showed you this list I'm about to show up here on the video, you thought the Dolphins, and that is actually the front runner.
Yep.
So, and then you mentioned about Rich Eisen. He said he had a great spot for him to land, right?
He did, 100%. I'll say this, too. I'm not as smart as I seem. I said Dolphins because I saw that Miami reportedly made a real trade offer for Jonathan Taylor. It also just makes sense. So when SamMeeBee asked me my thought, the Dolphins came to mind. Then I got a little funny anecdote courtesy of the Rich Eisen show. He basically posed the question, where's the best fit for Jonathan Taylor? The Indianapolis Colts. I think it's a great take. I think he's right. It's unfortunate, the contract situation out there. I will say, kind of putting myself in the Colts' shoes after the disaster that was last year, and maybe just the frustration that's been boiling over since Andrew Luck retired. Maybe they want to start anew. They've got a rookie quarterback. Maybe they figure they can draft a running back in a first or second round next year or the year after, and they just might not want to pay Jonathan Taylor, and maybe they have other guys in mind to pay. So it seems a little crazy to me. I think, like I was just telling SamMeeBee, I would put Jonathan Taylor right up there in the top tier of current NFL active running backs. I believe he's 24. So to my mind, I would say he's right there with Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, name him, and I'm going to say he's right there or better. But all that aside, we don't really know the health of his ankle. It seems he wants out of Indianapolis. I don't know if the situation's going to be remedied. There's a lot of rumors that the Rams are looking at him. I don't really think that's true. I think that's just rumors and clickbait. It doesn't really make sense for the Rams to add Jonathan Taylor right now. I don't think that puts the team over the top. And honestly, and I'm not saying Cam Akers is better than Jonathan Taylor, all due respect to both players. I just think Cam Akers is fine. I think he's fine. He'll be what the Rams need. And realistically, the Rams' offensive line is more of a concern to me than the running back or even their skill position players.
Yeah, and looking at this list, I kind of think
other skill position players, I should say.
I think the Ravens would be a good fit for him. I think
that's a great take.
I wasn't big on the Ravens, but if you remember, I'm not big on the Bengals at all. So I'm like, you know what? I'm thinking the Ravens. Be an interesting fit for sure.
I think it's a tough division. The lowest team I'm on in that division is the Browns, which we might actually go division by division and do winners today. So this is a decent segue, if any. But no, I like your take, Jonathan Taylor to the Ravens. J.K. Dobbins is a good player. I just don't know if his knee is healthy, but I do think minus any injury, Dobbins is a nice player, a solid player. Is he as good as Jonathan Taylor? Not going to say that. At the same time, though, there is this current trend, if you want to call it that. I don't know that it's new. I think the NFL cycles, and right now the current cycle we're seeing is we don't need high-end running backs. We can do the same thing with a platoon. I think that the cycle is going to come back around. I do think some teams will need high-end running backs, but we'll see. That's the beauty of the NFL. It's a passing league right now. I wouldn't be shocked if we see – I guess if the rules stay the way that they are and if passing is really the way to go, but I wouldn't be shocked if this maintains a passing league. What's going to happen is defenses are going to adjust to the pass. They're going to have smaller guys that can cover the run and the pass. So eventually what I think will happen is teams will be like, hey, they've got smaller linebackers, smaller cornerbacks. We're going to go big. We're going to run it down your throat. And then once that starts happening, defenses will get big again. That'll stop the run. The pass will open up. I don't know if this makes sense to any of our listeners, but it's cyclical. The NFL is a pattern league. Right now, the pattern is let's not pair running backs, but I don't think it's going to stay that way forever.
It's interesting because I think the number 2 team on the favorite list is the Bears, and I'm like, I don't know. My thought is he should go to a contender, and no one comes to mind. Is there any team you can think of that's just a running back short of like a playoff run. Like I think the Jets got their quarterback. They were quarterback short.
They have Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, but is there any team you can think of that's a running back short?
I don't think that necessarily Miami. Like to me, the Miami Dolphins are a good team. Period. As long as they have a healthy Tua with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I even think that Mike White, who they signed as a backup from the Jets, I think he can come in and do fine if Tua misses time. I really do think that. I can be wrong. That all being said, no. I mean, what team is going to sign Jonathan Taylor and go from outside looking in to like a real Super Bowl run? Because I want to maybe Seattle Seahawks, but they've got Kenneth Walker. They drafted. That's the thing. Everybody's got running backs.
And that was my thought, honestly. I was talking to my coworker today. He's like, "Who do you think?" I was like, I think Seattle.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want it to happen. I like Jonathan Taylor. Actually, I saw him live. I went to Buffalo Bills game when Indy destroyed them back 2 seasons ago, and he scored like 4 or 5 touchdowns. He just destroyed them. The nice thing was it was easy getting out of the parking lot because the fans left like the fourth quarter because Jonathan Taylor just could not be stopped that day, and that's why last year I was big on the Colts. Honestly, I thought they were going to win the AFC, and I was way off. That was probably my worst bet ever. Because
I thought they were going to be better than they were.
I thought they were too. I thought they were Matt Ryan, but
I thought that they were going to kind of do what the Rams did with Matthew Stafford. They got Matt Ryan, and I really thought the Colts were going to look okay. I think a lot of us did, but wow, they looked terrible. You know what? It doesn't turn them in from a 0 to a contender, but I actually think maybe the Arizona Cardinals. Like, I mean, they've got Kyler Murray. I don't know if they're looking to cut ties with him, but honestly, like, maybe go out, get Jonathan Taylor. Like, James Conner's a nice little player, but he's got an injury history, and rightfully so. I mean, he beat cancer. He's an inspiration. And that takes a toll on the body. So I'm not trying to be a naysayer, but I'll throw out there, I actually think Arizona Cardinals and Jonathan Taylor, that could make sense. Maybe that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the Colts. This is like their 5th, 6th year in a row with a different quarterback starting the season.
Something like that, yeah.
Now, you think it's Lolitta's fault why they're not keeping or paying Jonathan Taylor?
Whose fault?
Lolitta.
Is that a joke?
I wrote that on my notes. I'm like, I wonder if he knows who Lolitta is. I know about her.
The name's familiar. I know there's a book, which, I don't know if we want to go down that road, but...
Lolitta. You don't know Lolitta.
No, is that a character? Is that a...
No. Jim Irsay is paying... It was going to pay $20 million to ship Lolitta from Miami to, like, out west to Savers or Great Whale. A big whale.
Whale. That whale passed... She passed away.
Yeah, now he has money to pay Taylor, right?
Oh, my goodness. Why would that... Okay, I didn't know that he was a save the whale kind of guy.
Yeah, that's where all his money was going. So it was
I didn't know that.
R.I.P. Lolitta.
A card. I mean, I don't see how you can be a billionaire and not be a bit of a character, I suppose, but he's definitely a character. I don't know him, but he seems like a character.
I mean, that's us in the news. Another thing in the news, I don't know if you're a card collector. I just want to point this out. Fanatics got granted permission to start selling NFL cards 3 years early. They had a Panini. Cause I'm not a big card collector, but I do like some of the local shops. Maybe we'll get one of them on the show.
That would be awesome.
I know a couple of the guys, and I don't know. I bought a Cam Akers card from them, rookie. So I was so upset when he won out of Los Angeles. I'm like, come on, I got a rookie card of him, but
he might have the biggest year of his career this year. I mean, that's the hope.
So I'm interested. Some more to follow on that. Fanatics, I think they were supposed to start in 2026, and then they somehow got exclusive rights moved up 3 years, and there's a fight right now. Panini, who is like the main card, like tops for baseball, Panini for football.
I didn't know that.
I think Panini sold out their cards. I know, it's pretty
cool. I keep thinking of sandwiches every time you say
Panini.
Panini. All right, no, I didn't know any of that. I would say I also am not like a diehard card collector, but I have a few cards, and a buddy actually gave me a neat little Matthew Stafford card. It's probably worth 25 cents. But I like collecting things is what I'll say, probably to a fault. So I do find that interesting.
Yeah, and I definitely want to bring on one of those other guys and talk about it. So I have a number here. I actually made a bet already, so let me give you this number: 12,495.5 points. That's how many points is projected for over/under for the season.
Across all teams, all games.
Before I give you what I did, I want to know what your thoughts are. 12,495.5 points. Do you think over/under?
Under.
Under? Mm-hmm. Good call. Okay. So the reason why I went under is it's only gone over twice in history. Mm-hmm. One was 2020, which is kind of a weird year.
COVID year.
COVID year, yeah. Mm-hmm. And the second year was 2 years ago, so last year was a down year. And I took some notes real quick here. What I thought was interesting is actually last year was the most field goals in history, 903. So it's like, all right, they would have to top that. And there's a lot of rookie quarterbacks. So I put a couple units on that already. So I'm already giving it out. This is another bet. Stamp it. SamMeeBee approved. I'll take the under.
Can I ask this? How do I word this before I just kind of ramble on? That's interesting that there were the most field goals attempted last year. Most field goals made last year. Okay, excuse me. Then maybe that speaks to the quality of kicker in the NFL. The reason that sticks out to me is I would think nowadays teams are going for it more on fourth down than ever.
Yeah.
So that surprises me that field goals made were the highest last year, I guess. I would have thought that would have been lower.
No, yeah, I have some numbers up real quick here. I mean, obviously, scoring is going up on every year. So 903 last year. The next highest was 874. So that's a whole heck of a lot increase.
What about the attempts? Do we see attempts?
No, this is what's made. It's crazy. It's like extra points. Like I think 2-point conversions was the year. So again, it's only been over that number twice, 2020 and 2021. And 2021 is where we saw the most 2-point conversions made. So teams are going for more in COVID year. So
yeah.
And so that number, 2021, they were over by 6.5 points. So really, we'll take that out. So really, it's only gone over once in history, which is the COVID year. So I already put a bet on it, 2 units to go under. So I'm glad you agreed.
2 units to go under. Guard. No, I do agree, and I'll tell you why. And it speaks to what I said earlier. I think that teams are the best way to stop a high-powered offense. This isn't rocket science. It's ball control. Yeah. Teams are going to need to lean on a running game. Keep the other offense on the field. Like Patrick Mahomes comes to mind, Jalen Hurts comes to mind, to name a couple. I mean, the way to keep these offenses off the field or to keep these offenses from scoring is to keep them off the field. You do that with ball control. Mm-hmm. And that, if you're going to run out the clock, that indicates to me that you might have less points scored than normal. And that's why I'm kind of going the under. I think there's going to be a lot of teams trying to do ball control. Now, will they be successful? I don't know. I mean, I could be dead wrong with this take.
Yeah, I mean, even that COVID year, they had the most safeties too. So I mean, it's all points, extra points, field goals, safeties, returns, and I mean, return touchdowns is down overall. And I mean, what's crazy is,
but people aren't taking it out.
Yeah,
they're telling you to fair catch it. You're going to be at the 25 anyways.
And you know they have more games now. And looking at most touchdowns in a season, last year was the 7th most. So it's like even though there's more games, it had less than one of these seasons. I think was the Broncos, who scored the most ever. So
they look bad right now.
The Broncos?
Yeah.
Maybe they're running back short. Maybe that's all they need.
I think Javonte Williams, if he's healthy, should be a talented running back. And they've got Samaje Perine, who I'm not a Samaje Perine. I'm not huge on him. I'm not like super duper high on him. But like he's people are. He's good. He's a professional running back.
Yeah, and I was looking at the numbers too. They have the most scoring team projected as the Chiefs. They have 472.5 and lowest 330.5 for Arizona. And if you do Arizona, you just divide that by 17 games. It's 19 points a game. That's a lot. So I'm like, yeah. And there's a lot of rookies starting. So
I mean, I can see Arizona having games we're lucky to break 10 points. Like
that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know. I said it's all the teams combined. So obviously some teams might go over, like the Chiefs can go over.
Yeah.
But I think enough teams are gonna go under. I just don't see it. So I already put it in there, so I'm glad you agreed with me, but without even knowing, caught you off guard.
No, you're good to go. I don't see the Chiefs averaging 27 points a game.
That's a lot.
I mean, that's 27 points. Call it 28 points a game. Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad offense, but 28 points every game, you don't even need to do that to win some football. Like, the Chiefs are smart. They can run the clock out. If they're up 21-0 in the fourth quarter, I mean, they might let Patrick continue to cook, but they're also probably going to want to run the clock out and secure a win. But I guess what do I know? Maybe the idea is keep your foot on the gas. Maybe that's the modern NFL. So maybe I'm just wrong. We'll see. I mean, that'll be interesting to circle back on by end of season.
No, I said it's already got under, and it'd be interesting to see how it plays out. So yeah.
Divisions?
So, yeah, let's go with division winners. So I think today's August 24th, so we still got Jonathan Taylor news to come out. I think that might impact. And honestly, I know we did some pre-recordings and we've given out some of our ideas in our trials, which I don't think have been released. But I think I have some different ideas. So this will be interesting. Okay. So I'll start with you. We'll start with the AFC East here. What do you think?
I should have worn my glasses, is what I think. I'll tell you what, and not my sunglasses, my real ones. Bill, this division's so tricky. I am going to go the Buffalo Bills, and that is, I've got family in Buffalo. I want to see Buffalo win. But honestly, New York Jets, Miami Dolphins, Buffalo Bills, all three of those teams, but I'm going to take a stand. I'm going to take Buffalo Bills. I think the New England Patriots are the weakest team in that division, which is crazy to say out loud.
No, that division, at first I was like, anyone can win this division. I think it's interesting. My personal take, I'm going Jets.
Yep.
I think Aaron Rodgers was the key they needed. And I do like the Bills. We're Gem City in Erie, where I think Buffalo's the closest city, technically, of the three major ones. Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. But
yeah, they're all about 2 hours, a little under, a little over.
Buffalo's secretly my adopted second team.
Sure, I get that.
I do like them, but I just don't know how they can improve. And I think it's weird. I mean, they never seem to have a running back. They just running back by committee all the time. And
should they get Jonathan Taylor? Would that
should?
Be crazy?
No, it wouldn't be crazy. I think I was gonna say that'd be the most exciting one.
Yeah.
I think anytime we do where will they land? It's like, where do I want them to go?
Yeah.
I would say Buffalo.
That would be
Jonathan
cool.
Taylor.
That would be really cool, especially in cold weather games. Like, yeah, we're saying the same thing, 100%.
There's a chance I might be at a Bills game when they play in Philadelphia. So,
really?
Spoiler alert.
That'll be fun.
That would be fun. That's a November game, so that might be a snow game. So.
I mean, right now, and a lot can change between now and then, I would pick Philly over the Bills, just if you're betting on that game.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what shirt I'm gonna wear. I'm thinking, what is?
Not a betting man, by the way.
Do the Bills have a Smith on their team? Because I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll do a split jersey. I'll do Devontae Smith and it'll be funny, like a white guy Smith from the Bills. And then just
that's cute. That's fun. I don't know.
Split jersey because I don't have a team.
I'm thinking. You said how can the Bills be better than last year? The only name that comes to mind, I think, is it Cantavius Pope, that rookie tight end that we drafted in the mock draft. Maybe he opens up the offense with Diggs. Maybe Allen as a real number 2. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. We'll continue AFC. So you got Bills. I got Jets. Let's go to AFC North. This is another interesting one.
I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh,
I am.
Man,
I'm doing it.
Man, okay.
I'm doing it.
You know, I thought about them. This one I keep going back and forth. I don't know why. I just don't believe in the Bengals. I just don't.
Joe Burrow's hurt. If it wasn't for that, I'd say you're out of your mind.
I think even Joe Burrow wasn't hurt if he's full healthy. I just don't believe in them.
I think you're out of your mind. I do. I respect you. I think the Cincinnati Bengals have shown time and time again that with a healthy Joe Burrow, they do not care what anybody thinks.
Yeah.
They shouldn't even, and I mean, like, hear out what I'm saying before you jump at me, all you commenters. They shouldn't even been in that Super Bowl with the Rams.
Exactly.
And what I'm saying is every playoff game the Bengals played that year, including regular season games, it was the Bengals have no offensive line. How can they do this? They can't keep this up. The Bengals honestly almost beat the Rams in that Super Bowl last year if it wasn't for Aaron Donald making maybe one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history and blowing up a couple plays on that final drive that the Bengals had.
They made him angry. They shouldn't have done
sure
that.
Did. They sure did.
I think not just that season. I think the second season.
Yeah.
If you look at it, I think he only like one real good win, which is in Buffalo. Other than that, he got carried and just lucky. I like the guy, Joe Cool, but yeah.
No, I think Joe Burrow's really good. I think the Bengals are really good.
Buy him.
All right, that's fair, and you might be right.
So this one, I have changed this answer multiple times, but I'm going with Baltimore Ravens in this one.
I would say it's between the Steelers and the Ravens.
It's weird.
I agree.
It's weird seeing Pittsburgh winning. I don't know.
I don't see Lamar Jackson playing 17 games. That's why I'm
not
Steelers.
big on Lamar Jackson, but I'm big on the rest of the players they got.
I'm huge on Lamar Jackson when he plays.
Yeah.
But you're big on this. You're big on the Ravens' defense. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, defense. Some of the additions. OBJ if she shows up.
Sure.
And I think they should get Jonathan Taylor. So
I think it's a great take.
Yeah.
I was going to say it if you weren't, and I was going to credit you, SamMeeBee, because it's a good take.
So we'll go down to AFC South. I think we're both going to be in agreement here. I'm taking Jacksonville. I think they're going to have a pretty good season.
Yes. I also will pick Jacksonville.
I was worried with that delay.
I can't help but consider if the Tennessee Titans with a healthy Tannehill, DeAndre Hopkins, I don't hate that squad. I think it's a really good AFC team if they stay healthy.
So when we did our over-unders episode, what I did was I went to one of those websites and I just all right, I think this team's going to win, this team's going to win. I kind of just, I guess I don't want to say biased, but just who I thought. But after reading up on a lot of articles, a lot of people are high on the Titans. So it's possible, but I think Jacksonville has a better couple matchups. So
I like Jacksonville a lot, and I think in one of my fantasy keeper leagues, we get to keep 3 players. They go in the first 3 rounds. Travis Etienne. I might look silly, but I'm hoping he has a big year, and I'm really I'm also very high on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I think we're both high on Calvin Ridley is what
Yes.
it is. I think he's the difference maker and whatnot. So
I think too, and if we've already talked about this, I apologize, but to me, like this is technically on paper year 3 for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
But really, this is kind of his year 2 after that throwaway year with Urban Meyer, and there are stats I believe that say that year 2 for a quarterback is where they really can make a jump. Maybe it's year 3, which still fits my argument because it is his 3rd year. Either way, I think we're going to see a really good Trevor Lawrence this year. He was fine last year. I think he's going to be better this year.
Tremendously better last year, looking at his stats.
Yeah, and he's got Calvin Ridley now, which you said, like, yeah, absolutely.
All right, and AFC West.
They had Darrell Henderson on their roster for a little bit last year, that Rams castaway. I don't know where he is now. I think he tried out for New England. I don't know where Darrell is. Keep an eye on him before the season starts. I'm going Kansas City Chiefs. That's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
What did I say? As great old Ric Flair says, to be the man, you gotta beat the man. Woo!
I love it.
And the Chiefs are that man. Patrick Mahomes is that man. So
the Denver Broncos are having injury after injury. I saw Jerry Jeudy got carted off the field today.
I got a little too excited for that. I'm sorry. I left the table and everything.
Why are you? No, don't apologize. I loved it. I just want to say that my tune has changed on the Denver Broncos. I thought they were going to be okay, and now the injuries are piling up. And from what I'm reading, the Rams are beating them up in the joint practices. Denver Broncos might be in for a really bad year.
Yeah, I mean, today's August 24th.
Yep, a lot
we're
can
still
change.
we're still in preseason. There's still one more game to go.
Absolutely.
I haven't been watching any of it, so I don't even know what to expect.
I've watched some Rams.
I mean, and that's the thing is I think some of these teams, barring any major injuries, I can't really see a change in what I'm picking or trades too. I mean, I don't know if depending on where Jonathan Taylor goes, that could make an impact, but barring any injuries, I'm comfortable with what I'm picking.
I think that we should honestly revisit and do this again at the quarter mark or halfway mark of the season, because I do think these things are going to change. I think there's going to be injuries. I think there's going to be players that like blow up. Like, for example, let's say, like, Steelers come to mind. Let's say Allen Robinson's on pace for 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. Like, that's not going to sway you a little bit going up against the Baltimore Ravens. Like Pickens, Robinson, Freiermuth. I like that Steelers squad. It's just, can Kenny Pickett, can he step up, basically? I thought he looked good as a rookie. Can he take that step forward and lead this team? We'll see. Can George Pickens, who I think has all the talent in the world, kind of buy into the system and not get frustrated when maybe he's not getting the ball? And if he deserves the ball, great. Like, go let them know. But there's a way, hopefully, to do that without drawing so much media attention, which I think is a distraction for any team. I'll throw this out there, too, circling back to the AFC West.
Yeah.
Las Vegas Raiders, I've been low on. But after kind of watching them in the preseason game against the Rams, and I know it's just a preseason game, but even reading about their practices, like, I don't like it because I don't like Josh McDaniels. But the Las Vegas Raiders, I'm not saying they make the playoffs, but they might be like a 7-9, 8-9, 9-8 team that spoils a lot of people's seasons with a couple wins here, a couple wins there. If Jimmy Garoppolo stays healthy, I actually think that team can be pretty good. They got Max Crosby, who I guess was just terrorizing the Rams at practice. And then that backup, that rookie quarterback, I think Aiden O'Shaw, he carved the Rams up. And again, it's preseason, but I don't know. Maybe the Las Vegas Raiders have a little something to say in the AFC.
I don't know. I mean,
Fair.
I know Jerry Jeudy's hurt, but I don't know. I just think Russell Wilson with Sean Payton, I think they'll have a better season. And I've always been high on the Chargers. I'm giving up on them. They're letting me down year after year.
I like the Chargers. I know they kind of imploded last year against the Jaguars in the playoffs, but the Chargers always do that. I believe in Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen. I tell you what, if Mike Williams would stay healthy for a full season, like that dude can be like a top-tier wide receiver. He cannot stay healthy. And I'm not saying it's easy. I can't do any of the things that he does, but...
No. Dang. So then from here we'll go to the NFC East. I'm keeping it simple. Eagles. Give me Eagles.
Absolutely. Philadelphia Eagles all day. I'm impressed by Sam Howell. I love what I'm reading. I wish him all the best. Philadelphia Eagles. It's not close. I've kind of swayed myself on the Dallas Cowboys a little bit. I actually like the Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cook signing. My big thing though is like it's like 5 years too late.
Going back to Stephon Gilmore season when he was with the Colts, that was why I picked the Colts. I'm like, oh, they got Matt Ryan, they got Stephon Gilmore, they're going to improve, and I was.
He's still good. He's just not as good as he was when he was Defensive Player of the Year like 5 years ago. I think 5 years ago is when the Rams and New England meet in the Super Bowl. Sean McVay, Bill Belichick, Cooks and Gilmore would have been playing each other at that time. Cooks for the Rams, Gilmore for the Patriots. I think they're both really good players. I don't know if signing those players is enough to help Dallas beat the Philadelphia Eagles, who I think are the the light of the NFC, the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, so we're both on the Eagles, which I said that I have a hard time believing anyone's going to top them.
I don't believe in the New York Giants.
I don't like
the
Cowboys at all, but I think they'll win a good amount, possibly 10 games.
I think they should be the second best team in their division. I don't believe in the New York Giants at all. I'm saying it again.
This is an interesting one. All these divisions are interesting, especially because it's preseason where everyone's got the hype. Everyone's winning the Super Bowl. So NFC North, who you got here?
I've thought about this one today because I knew we were doing this. Yeah, I've got it between the Detroit Lions and Minnesota Vikings. I talked a lot of smack the last time we recorded on the Green Bay Packers, and I might be wrong. I might be wrong. We'll see. I'm just not that high on Green Bay in comparison to the Minnesota Vikings and Detroit Lions. I'm excited about the Chicago Bears, if only for Justin Fields. I'm going to take a stance. I'm going with the Detroit Lions. I think Jared Goff's in for a huge year.
I like Jared Goff, so I hope he has a good year.
Yep.
I like your pick. I am all about the Vikings.
Yep.
I don't know.
I can't blame you.
And maybe I'm blinded by something because a lot of people are taking their under, saying that they're going to regress. But I'm like, I have them winning, going over their totals. I am so on this train. I don't know.
I think a lot of people are like, they won a lot of one-score games last year. It's not sustainable. They got bounced out of the playoffs by the New York Giants. I think that leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. But they went like 13-4 last year, 14-3, whatever it was. I think they're a great team. I think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. I think Justin Jefferson's one of the best receivers in the league. If that defense can take a step forward, which maybe that's the problem. Maybe they didn't do enough with the defense.
I'm sold. Maybe it's because purple is one of my favorite colors, but I'm sold. So, I mean, and like I said, I think it's just interesting to see what we're right and wrong on. And like I said, I think the Packers are going to have the most one-score games this year. So I'm
just
not
saying, in the league.
Just I don't know if that's really a thing if they track that, but because you talk about how the Vikings won a lot of one-score games. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if the Packers are going to finish.
I think they did. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
No, you're right. I remember that.
People want to call those wins lucky. You can say it's resiliency. You don't. I mean, it doesn't have to be luck. Like luck's a factor in anything. But are
we freezing up again? No, I think we're good.
Okay.
This is annoying. All right, and then we got NFC South. So I'm going to start with this one here. So this one.
I hate my pick. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I hate my pick too. So it's funny. I have been all over the Saints. I took them over. I think in our wins over under total, I had every team except for the Saints going under. So I'm like, the Saints are going to just go 6-0, sweep the division. Now I bring up on articles, a lot of people are high on the Falcons, and
the Saints are 2-0 right now.
I'm sticking with the Saints because when I look at their schedule, I think I still have them going over, and I think they have the easiest schedule. But I'm reading up a lot that people are loving the Falcons and the Panthers, and I want to take one. I hate the Saints. I want to take someone else, but I'm taking the Saints to win this division.
The Saints are 2-0 right now. They're in.
Okay.
Having fun. We're having fun around here.
Crown them. Crown the champs.
Crown the champs. No, I mean, we talked about it, I think, before. Derek Carr is probably the most proven quarterback in that division. I mean, all due respect to Baker Mayfield, Desmond Ridder, and the young Bryce Young. I got to go with the New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr alone, Cam Jordan on the other side. I think they're the most professional team. I will say this, though, and we've talked about it before, but I'm going to repeat it. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, what, Baker Mayfield can't cook with those guys? I mean, I think they can be scary. We'll see.
The Saints do have one of my favorite players right now, Jamal Williams. I like him.
Yeah, sure. He's great. He's fun. Yeah. Anime fan. It's cool.
Okay, and then we go finish with our division. Woo! NFC West. I changed my mind on this one.
You go in Seattle?
I am going Seattle. I just look at the schedule.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy's got a lot of question marks. They're a mess with Trey Lance.
I don't think he does.
They didn't give Deebo Samuel the ball enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they have a mess.
He was hurt a bit last year.
I like Seattle's uniforms. I think it's going to buy them an extra win.
I am going to take the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, respectable. I had them. Yeah.
On the drive here, I really wanted to convince myself into taking the Rams. I really did. I wanted to be I'm going to do a hot take. I'm going to take the Rams. And then I can't sit here and lie. I want the Rams to win the division maybe in 8 weeks. If you're right, maybe Brock Purdy looks bad, and it's ooh, the Rams got a shot here. But I actually don't think Brock Purdy has any question marks. I think all he has to do is show up and play like he did last year. And I think by doing that, he's going to play better. He's going to play over the course of the season if he's healthy. I do. I think that the 49ers are in good hands with Brock Purdy, and maybe there is a part of me. I just thought about this. Maybe there is a part of me that's saying that to try to jinx him. Maybe I'm Brock Purdy's the truth because I don't want it to be true, but I don't know.
No, so I think 8 divisions. We agree on 4, so split on half of them. So it'll be fun to see what happens. And These logos are sponsored to you by Corn Doggy. Thanks, shout out to Corn Doggy.
Heard.
So what I brought up here was how teams finished last year, because I'm thinking like the Eagles the year before last year, so 2 years ago, they were 10-6. So hard to say they were the biggest jump, but they were definitely the biggest improvement. And the Rams, what were they before they won the Super Bowl? Do you remember? Were they?
Yeah, they made the playoffs that year. They went like 11-5, something like that.
I don't know. Like looking at these teams here, I kind of going by wins. Do you see any teams that might have the biggest jump to you, or teams you think? I'm thinking the Broncos are gonna have a good improvement. I can't see them going 5-12.
I can.
Really?
They're having the injury bug already.
Actually, I think the Bears.
I was going to say.
So yeah, Bears.
Yeah.
Could be a big improvement.
I mean,
team.
well, I don't know if I'd say big improvement, but who's more likely to win more games than they won last year? I think the Bears will win 4 games this year.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, DJ Moore. I'm here for it.
All right, so those division winners. I think next episode we can go over maybe who we think's going to win MVP.
Or
Rookie of the year.
I mean, we could do conference winners, except I think that'll end very quickly. I'm going Chiefs in the AFC and Eagles in the NFC, and I'm pretty sure you agree.
I didn't even think about who I would take. I'm going. I want to take the Jets.
Yeah?
Okay.
No. Yeah?
Who do I think's going to win?
The Jets and KC play in the regular season, I believe.
I remember. Let me look. I'm looking here. Who I think's going to go? I don't even know.
Are we losing it? Are we losing it again? Nope, we're back.
This is tough. I guess Eagles. I'm going to say Eagles in the NFC. I just can't. Someone's got to knock off the Chiefs eventually, right? I guess
Jacksonville.
No, I'm going Jets. Jets, Eagles.
It's not.
That'll change. Okay, so we'll do another division winner before, and I'll do a little more research and have a better pick. But
Jets aren't a bad pick.
Yeah.
Have you been watching Hard Knocks?
No.
It's a hype train. It's fun.
It's always a hype train.
Yeah, it's NFL content in a time where I'm just trying to get to the regular season.
Even when the Rams are on, I'm like, oh, I love that guy, and those guys are good. So. if obviously for the dream, we want the Rams in the Super Bowl again. Who would you want the Rams to play in the Super Bowl if they made it?
Like, who do I think they have the best chance at beating? I guess that's or just like
who's the dream matchup you want to see? I think the Bills, because
I like the Bills.
Since we're here in Gem City near the Bills, it'll be fun.
I actually thought that last year I was drinking the Kool-Aid that week 1 Rams versus Bills I thought was a preview of the Super Bowl. Yeah. I really did. I thought both teams were going to make it at that point in the season. I want to say, so I do like the Bills to get to the Super Bowl. What hurts me though is that I don't want to see the Rams lose to the Bills in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I also don't really want to see, like, I guess I'd be happy about it, but I don't really want to see the Bills lose another Super Bowl either. Like, and I'm not even a Bills fan. I just feel bad.
That'd be interesting.
But I guess as far as, like, dream matchup, I think it would be great. I'm going to say it. If Sean McVay somehow found himself in a Super Bowl with Bill Belichick again, against Bill, I would love to see McVay. Maybe I would feel better about it than McVay even does. That just still bugs me when they lost that Super Bowl. And to me, I felt like they kind of got back at Tom Brady when they beat him in the divisional round a couple years ago on their way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When like Tampa Bay was down 27-3 again and came back all the way, tied the game 27-27, whatever it was. And the Rams won, which was exciting.
I'm calling it now. Not this year, next year, 2024 Super Bowl. First in the playoffs, Titans are going to do another Music City miracle to beat the Bills. Rams, Titans, 2024.
Wow.
Or 2025.
That's a hot take. We're going to have to save that we're going to have to save that for a short, because if it happens, that could go viral.
Yeah, today's August 24th. Yeah.
So we're a little ways away from
a little ways away.
Yeah,
so.
a couple years.
But hey, it was a good episode. I think division winners early on. We'll do another one. It'll be fun. And then next time we'll talk about players. And
yeah, I also would like to do another fantasy draft or just talk fantasy in general. But I agree. We'll just keep it rolling. And once the season gets going, we can break down Rams games. We can break down various games. There's going to be so much to talk about.
Actually, yeah, that's the other thing. Last time we recorded, I was in 0 leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to you, I'm in 2 now. So.
Are you in 2?
Yeah, I'm in 2 now.
Really?
Yeah.
Both thanks to me?
Well, once from you.
Okay, good.
So, yeah.
Good.
Awesome. Well, from SamMeeBee and Danny Stone, this was
Gem City Sports. One love.